Hello there, it is Weekend File on the NTA and we are live in Abuja. In the first 2 weeks of this month, the nation witnessed an outbreak of yellow fever in 3 states, Bauchi, Delta and Enugu. Reports have it that the disease has so far led to the death of many patients, most of them in Enugu and Delta states, largely due to late detection. The renewed spike is a wake-up call for relevant stakeholders to be more proactive in dealing with the disease. Already, there are coordinated containment measures by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC), primary health care centers, and state epidemiologist teams in the areas of case search, community engagement, as well as prompt management of cases. Now, in the wake of a renewed mass campaign against the disease, Nigeria has resumed yellow fever vaccination and fumigation drive with safety measures against COVID-19. The Phase 4 yellow fever campaigns will target more than 30 million people in 7 states in Nigeria after the Phase 3 campaign is completed. These will be followed by further vaccination efforts in 2021-2022, targeting more than 95 million people in the country. Indeed, the situation is under control. We shall have updates from various zones as we also discuss with our guest, Dr. Basi Okwosem, Director, Disease Control and Immunization, National Primary Development Agency, on the outbreak of yellow fever and containment measures. I am Kenen Ima Abodike. Let's review the news first. We begin by telling you that the federal government says there is no going back on the 2022 deadline for the completion of the second Niger Bridge and other ancillary roads. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, gave the indication at a town hall meeting with representatives from Delta and Anambra State on ways of fast-tracking the actualization of the project without hindrance. Here is Austin Edobodu with the report.
The second Niger Bridge already taking shape as works intensify in the incremental launching of the decks. With the 2022 completion deadline in focus, the need to remove any encumbrances and fast-track the process of project delivery has put the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, on the road to ascertain the level of progress.
This is an investment that we are all united needs to be made. And therefore, in order to make it, sacrifices have to be made. Then there will be ecological and environmental consequences. They are already factored into the program of works, and they will be dealt with at the appropriate time.
Upon completion, the toll station will consist of 16 toll booths, 8 on each side for the roads. The station will also include service and maintenance facilities such as control building, operation and maintenance building, vehicle service building, utility and security building for the administration of the road.
During the town hall meeting, the governor of Anambra State, William Obiano, and the representative of his counterpart from Delta State, the secretary to the state government, Chielu Ebia, applauded the progress of work and at the same time urged the federal government not to overlook the genuine demands of host communities and some dilapidated federal roads.
I want to seize this opportunity to thank Mr. President for keeping his words. This bridge has been going on, COVID or no COVID. They've made a lot of progress.
Sincere gratitude to Mr. President for making this project possible.
With the traffic gridlock already rearing its ugly head in the old Niger Bridge ahead of the festive period, the over 400 billion naira already put for the completion of the second Niger Bridge is a pointer to the genuine commitment of the federal government in delivering the project come 2022. I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Deep Blue project of the federal government has received newly acquired hard and software security maritime equipment to combat crimes on Nigeria's territorial waterways and piracy on the Gulf of Guinea. Minister of Defense Bashir Magashira and his counterpart in the Transportation Ministry, Chibike Rotimi Amechi, inspected the ware in Port Harcourt. Joy Uzo reports.
This visit is to assess the level of preparedness by interaction with trained personnel to ensure effective implementation of the federal government's Deep Blue project, as well as inspection of newly acquired security maritime apparatus for the purpose of checkmating criminality on Nigeria's territorial waterways. Minister of Defense and Chairman Interministerial Committee on the Deep Blue Project, Major General Bashir Salihi Megashi, says the contract for the Deep Blue Project was awarded based on specification, and the visit is to ascertain whether they are met.
If they are built in such a way, I think we can vouch for them. But our technical people will continue to see whether they're actual specification or not, but so far so good.
Minister of Transportation Chibike Rotimi Amechi says he is satisfied with what is on ground.
When we finish inspection and training and all that, then we expect to launch in the water.
The Deep Blue project is aimed at addressing insecurity and criminalities on Nigeria's exclusive economic zone. The project is domiciled with the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, and is being achieved in collaboration with other security outfits. The Minister of Defense, on arrival, had earlier visited the Elele cantonment of the Nigerian Army. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, has ordered truck and other articulated vehicles parked by the roadside at Ogere axis along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to immediately vacate the road to protect the integrity of the already completed portions. The minister will say this while inspecting the project, expressing satisfaction with level of work, with hope that when completed, the road will bring about a much-needed development to small-scale businesses in the axis. Dotun Ogunyemi tells us more.
It is one road that keeps getting public attention as it has been under reconstruction for years. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is one of the busiest in Nigeria. According to a 2013 report, 40,000 vehicles ply the road per day, and at peak periods, 3,000 vehicles per hour. But this figure has significantly increased, generating more pressure on the road. One issue that has delayed the project was funding, but that has been resolved with the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund.
I want to say that the delays are inevitable. It is part of reconstructing the project, so everyone needs to be patient.
Minister of Works and Housing, who inspected the progress of work, was briefed by the contractors for both sections 1 and 2. The inspection later delved into a town hall meeting where issues of indiscriminate parking of trucks was raised.
Building this road, you will see that your travel time continues to improve every year. Yes, people say we have not finished it. Let me remind you that this road was awarded in April 1974 for the first time. It was finished 4 years after, in 1978. There was no traffic then. There was oil money in 1974. It still took 4 years to build. Now imagine what we are doing without oil money, with traffic management every day. Just please bear with us.
So I want us to now immediately begin to pay attention to these roads, particularly starting from Ikorodu, Shagamu, Iperu, Ode, Shakpade Road, which has now become the alternative road.
The road, which was initially constructed with 7.3 meter asphalt pavement, is being reconstructed to 18.5 meters with 4 layers of asphalt to cope with the expected vehicle pressure, among other plans to include 2 toll gates. In Lagos, Dotun Okunyemi, NTA News.
In the aftermath of the NSAS crisis, the National Broadcasting Commission has fined 3 broadcasting stations for using unverified and what it described as dangerous information it got from social media. In reaction to some commentators who have resorted to criticizing the NBC over its action, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has cleared the air on the matter. Here is Anthony Forson with that report.
The Information and Culture Minister said the NBC
was lenient on the defaulters, asking what has happened to the traditional media jettisoning the age-long gatekeeping process and relying on freewheeling social media without gatekeeping for news. And to those commentators, Lai Mohammed pointed out that the offenders have already realized their mistakes.
Commentators, many of whom did not even know why the NBC imposed the fines, rushed to allege an attempt to stifle free speech. Unknown to them, the stations themselves know what they have done. They know they have breached the broadcasting code. 2 of them have paid their fines in full, while the third has paid a part of the fine with an appeal for time to pay the balance.
Insisting that the dangerous trend must be curbed, the minister cited cases where renowned broadcast stations were carried away with such fake news, which they later realized it was fake.
Reputable broadcast media organization had carried a fake report that the Ecumenical Center in Abuja had been set on fire during the violence that followed the protest. Though the same organization later retraced the story, the kind of reprisal attack this could have sparked is better imagined. Also, another reputable broadcast media organization featured a report that identified a maintenance worker atop a bank building overlooking the Lekki toll gate as a sniper, leading to attacks that destroyed many of the bank's branches. The organizations have not even been sanctioned for this terrible disinformation.
It is in the light of this that the minister maintains that the federal government will regulate the social media because it cannot allow the country to be thrown into chaos. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The losses incurred by the police in Edo during the NSAS protest have been described as colossal. This was a submission of the assessment team from the force headquarters who is in Edo to assess the extent of damage inflicted on assets during the NSAS protest. Goodluck Enaini reports that this is in line with the directives of the Inspector General of Police.
Among the terms of reference of the team is the requirement to ascertain the level of damage and also interface with officers in charge of the affected stations. Commissioner of Police Federal Operations Force Headquarters Abutu Yaro, who is leading the team, is expected to inspect the affected divisional stations and barracks. At the Urban Market Divisional Station, Texas Mill Road Station, and Ogida Police Division, the team inspected the damaged facilities. Other divisions inspected were the Iviotor Police Outpost along Dumes Road, Idogbo Police Station and its barracks, Ugbekun Outpost Station, and St. Saviour Divisional Police Headquarters.
Some of the divisions were built by good Nigerians, the communities, and these hoodlums, being Nigerians, enter into them and destroy them.
Some members of the host community say absence of the police has far-reaching consequences.
When the station was here, we slept. But today, no hope.
Daylight, they will come. They will surround your house. Nobody to call. Nobody.
CP Abutu urged the citizens to keep faith with the police in securing lives and property of the citizenry. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
Contrary to speculations that Abuja-Kaduna Express Road has been deserted due to insecurity, the Defense Headquarters says the route is enjoying increased vehicular movement following upscale in military operation on the route. The coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, stated this while on tour of the road. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa was there.
These are defense correspondents on a media tour of the Abuja-Kaduna Express Road, a viable socio-economic route that links the Federal Capital Territory with states in the northwest and north central. Their mission is to appraise the level of traffic and security on the road in view of growing speculation of kidnapping. While on transit to Kaduna from Abuja, we had a stopover at this motor park in Jere.
We enter embalmment. The passengers are rushing now.
The General Officer commanding one division, Major General Usman Shehu, who is also the commander Operation Thunder Strike, noted that the Defense Headquarters-led operation is divided into 6 sessions to enhance policing of the route.
So we carry out clearance operations to areas where we think some of these bandits or criminals are hiding. And to me, that is the best strategy, because on this road, when you are passing, you won't actually see the soldiers or the security men on the road, because that is not the strategy. The strategy is just for us to go after them in their enclaves and don't even allow them to have the opportunity of coming to the road in the first place. We have added additional vehicles and we are going to get additional logistics.
Seeing is believing. They said road deserted, but I can see a deserted road with vehicles. And we are telling the general public that have the confidence in the armed forces of Nigeria, the Nigerian military, and the operation that is on here, and go about your normal business.
This is the Kaduna-Abuja end of the road, and as evident, the traffic is high, a testimony that the Ember period has truly picked up. From Kaduna, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Still talking security, Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar says the successes recorded in the counter-insurgency and other internal security operations will be sustained for the well-being of the people. He said this in Yola while inaugurating 10 refurbished trucks auctioned to the Nigerian Air Force by Nigeria Customs Service. Yusuf Jika tells us more.
These trucks for the good use of the Nigerian Air Force.
The 10 trucks procured and refurbished by the Nigerian Air Force will be put to use to address the logistic and other difficulties by the personnel in the counter-insurgency operation and other security challenges. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, represented by the Chief of Logistics, Air Vice Marshal Muhammad Amin Yaqub, said the vehicles, apart from providing logistic support, will also boost the morale of the personnel in the task of defending the territorial integrity of the nation.
Today's commissioning ceremony, therefore, marks another milestone in our efforts at providing necessary equipment to enhance operational readiness of the service.
The Chief of Staff, Government House Yola, Professor Maxwell Gidado, who stood in for Governor Amadou Marufentry, lauded effort of the Nigerian Air Force in complementing the effort of other sister security agents to rid the state of criminal elements.
I give kudos to the Nigerian Customs Services for the magnanimity in auctioning out these trucks to the Nigerian Air Force.
In Yola, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
To forestall a reoccurrence of the violence that trailed the recent NSAS protests in parts of the country, youths in Ogun State are calling for a youth development program that will address the challenges of unemployment and harness their potential for growth. They made the call when the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamileko Adebite, met with them and other stakeholders on the aftermath of the violent protest. Adeni Taiwo reports.
Efforts by the federal government to resolve the recent NSAS protests in parts of the country is built around the question, what do Nigerian youths want? And in the absence of known leaders, government is making do with meeting youths wherever they are. President Muhammadu Buhari, among other measures, directed ministers in his cabinet to return to their home states and engage youths and other stakeholders in order to fill their pulse. Youth unemployment and empowerment, the need for local government autonomy, and buffer against some long-term economic policies are some of the recurring demands.
The number one major problem is unemployment.
The minister, while appealing to youths to always embrace dialogue when making their demands, equally harped on the need for them to look inward, patronize and develop the local economy and tap into government programs and interventions designed for them.
President Muhammadu Buhari is so youth-oriented because even before the NSAS, he had approved a sum of 75 billion naira loan, where if you have creative ideas, if you have a business plan that is workable, they will look at it and they will finance it.
The minister is expected to brief the president on the outcome of the engagement at the next meeting of the Federal Executive Council. In Abuja, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Now, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says it is aggressively investing in gas as part of efforts to get Nigeria ready for the future in the wake of dwindling fortunes of petroleum liquids. Group Managing Director of NNPC, Mele Kyari, said though COVID-19 pandemic and OPEC Plus production cuts have impacted on the national oil plants, NNPC will complete projects put on hold due to COVID-19 as normalcy returns. Lydia Samson reports that these are highlights of a media engagement with energy correspondents in Abuja.
Reporting the oil and gas sector can be complex, especially interpreting the new normal and the plummeting global oil prices, as well as their impact on the global economy. Edith Eke Obo is one of the energy correspondents working daily to interpret and analyze developments in the sector for better understanding of the citizenry.
With what the GMD has said, explaining things as they are, it has opened my eyes to understand that there are so many things the NNPC is doing that are yet to be known.
She is amongst other energy correspondents at this media party by the NNPC. For the GMD of NNPC, it provides the platform to not just interface with the journalists who report the industry, but also give account of achievements, challenges, and projections in line with the transparency posture of the National Oil Company.
This is the only company that publishes its operational and financial records every month. There's no company, and I've asked this question severally, no one had come out to tell us that any company does this. It doesn't exist because we know today everything is open.
Femi Adesina, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, commended NNPC's efforts at ensuring transparency and accountability.
The president has never sent a single soul to me and said, do this for this person. Not one. We heard the GMD say the same thing here today. I think it's quite comforting for us to know that we have a president who is not doing deals.
FID for 27 NLNG, a major gas project, was signed during the COVID-19 lockdown. The GMD gave an assurance that the AKK gas pipeline will be completed on schedule. This is where most of the final investment decisions that were close to endorsement globally were postponed due to COVID-19. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
The adoption of entrepreneurial approach in sustaining peace and development in the Niger Delta region was proposed by the interim coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Colonel Miland Dixon Dikio, when he paid a courtesy visit to Bayelsa State Governor and Senator Dwoye Diri. The Amnesty Board also had an interactive session with ex-agitators on ways of complementing the efforts of the program to ensure development and security in the region. Fred Owefie tells us more.
At an interactive section with ex-agitators in Yenagua, the Bayelsa State capital, the Amnesty boss, Colonel Milang Dixon DQ, noted that the vision of the program is to train them to become entrepreneurs that will act as agents of change and reverse the present youth unemployment in the Niger Delta region.
You can actually prepare people to compete. That's what I'm saying. Now, we do not just throw people out there and check the boxes. We've trained so number of people. Towards they come out, can't help themselves, and then the frustration that anything we do, let's do it very well.
Later, at a courtesy visit, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Dwoye Diri reaffirmed his commitment to the Presidential Amnesty Program as he called for extension of the program, which is already at its final phase.
I want to put it to you that the faces of this armament
and demobilization are not fully achieved. And there is the need to mop up, still, the small and light arms that are all over the Niger Delta.
Colonel Diku, retired, was also received by the people of his ancestral home and Gene Kingdom in Ahoda West local government area of Rivers State. His people were full of praises to President Muhammadu Buhari for appointing their son as the coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program.
President Muhammadu Buhari for finding our brother, our father, the retired colonel, worthy of appointment into this exalted position.
Fred Owefie, NTA News.
Let's touch agriculture, where 400 youths in Nasarawa State are engaged in sesame seed production under the Nigerian Incentive-Based Risk Sharing for Agricultural Lending, NASAL, of the federal government. Aliyu Tijani has more.
Doma is the destination of choice for the sesame seed production due to its comparative advantage in the crop. 430 hectares piece of land is currently being cultivated by 400 youths in the area as the state government targets to empower 4,000 youths through the project across the state. Governor Abdullahi Sule, alongside delegation from the Nigerian Incentive-Based Risk Sharing for Agricultural Lending, NESL, inspects the pilot farm in Doma. Impressed with the program aimed at revolutionizing agriculture in the state, the governor calls on Lower Benue River Basin Development Authority to allocate more land to the youth, as the program will also boost dry season farming. A town hall meeting was also held at the Palace of the Andoma of Doma with all stakeholders on the gains of the project.
Now, I think with the excitement you have seen, you should give us land closer to the dam. That way, we'll be able to have the opportunity also for dry season farming.
We started with 400 hectares. Maybe just half of it was being cultivated at the end of the day. But what we're looking forward to is to go to upscaling these operations that we have.
On advice that when the intentions of government, whatever the agencies involved, what the government is working, the government should work with the people.
Some of us were not part of the development of the economy of production. As such, we don't know some farming activity which are very crucial were omitted.
With the takeoff of the project in Doma, NESL says it will scale up the project ahead of next farming season. From Doma in Nasarawa State, Aliyu Tijani Mohammed, NTA News.
This is Weekend File. We now take a break. When we return, we will be looking at yellow fever outbreak and containment measures. Stay tuned.
A scorecard like no other. Government has put in place measures and initiatives principally targeted at youths, women, and the most vulnerable groups in our society. These included broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years, the creation of 75 billion naira National Youth Investment Fund to provide opportunities for the youths, and the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Survivor Fund, through which government is A. paying 3-month salaries of the staff of 100,000 micro, small and medium enterprises. B. paying for the registration of 250,000 businesses at the Corporate Affairs Commission. C. giving a grant of 30,000 naira to 100,000 artisans and guaranteeing market for the product of traders. These are in addition to many other initiatives such as farmer money, trader money, market money, N-Power, N-Tech, and N-Agro. These and more in spite of a recession and a global pandemic.
My honeycomb, my flavored chocolate, I got that for you now.
I'm coming.
Come, let me spoil you.
Look,
This is not boil or abscess. Now money.
I want to show for King's Lounge right now. Babes, yapa for you.
Find your first. Get a Glow special data plan. Dial *777# Glow.
5:28 p.m. Getting ready to lay down some tones, but something ain't right. There's some discomfort in my throat. No worries though. TomTom Fresh Lime is here to save the day. Discomfort gone, time to bring the heat. Thanks TomTom Fresh Lime for giving me soothing relief. TomTom Fresh Lime, cool with a zing.
Do you know that social media is not good or bad, and that it is you who is using it that is either good or bad? Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, verify the information, and reflect before sharing it. Now, are you a good social media user? Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source for a better Nigeria.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
The Council of Our Fathers.
I will urge and advise our younger generation to use talent and brain to sort out problems, not arms.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Thank you for staying with us on Weekend File. Abuja State is one of the states in the Federation that experience outbreak of yellow fever almost every year. 77 cases were recorded last year with 48 deaths. Abbas Meikando reports that this year, 8 cases have been confirmed so far in Ganjua local government area of the state.
According to the Bauchi State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, there is no cause for alarm in the state concerning the outbreak of yellow fever, despite 8 confirmed cases recorded.
We reactivate our rapid response team. The case management and detailed investigation have to move into the community to carry out investigation, find out who are really They carry out what to call verbal autopsy to see what was going on. They took sample. We found out that 8 people are confirmed positive, and we went in again after to carry out vaccination of about 800 to 900 persons in their community.
So far, 60 samples of the suspected cases from the state have been sent to National Center for Disease Control.
Now we have another 2 confirmed deaths, 2 suspected again that died. We're still waiting for the result of. There also some people were taken. They are still suspected. So we have 10 suspected deaths of yellow fever in Bauchi State.
As preventive measures, there is planned fumigation and aerial spray in the affected areas. The team of epidemiologists from ATB Bauchi has taken samples of mosquitoes within the area with a view to identifying each type. Community radio stations are also being utilized for public enlightenment on how to properly take care of their environment to eliminate mosquito breeding places using local dialect. In Bauchi, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Following the outbreak of yellow fever in 2 communities in Enugu State and with a spread to more local government areas, the state government, with the support of the federal government, local and international partners, is intensifying the efforts to control further spread of the disease in the state. Judah Abugu visited the 2 epicenters of the outbreak and other places it has spread to and now reports.
The disease, which was initially confirmed to be the cause of the mysterious deaths in 2 communities in Iweze North local government area of the state, has suddenly become a public health concern to the entire state following reports of strange deaths similar to the cases in Igbeze North within communities in Nsukka, Isuzo, and Igbetiti local government areas.
People are dying every day. 3-4 persons in a compound.
The State Ministry of Health, through the Rapid Response Team, is currently making frantic efforts, administering yellow fever vaccines, sensitizing the public, and fumigating bushes in the affected areas in order to save the lives of the people from this deadly disease.
The State Ministry of Health swung into action with a multi-sectoral technical working group, bringing in the State Ministry of Health, other ministries in the state like the Ministry of Environment, and then came together with some other federal bodies that have something to do with yellow fever control.
Our target area in the fumigation is bushes and stagnant water.
Public health experts in the state have continued to harp on the need for people to imbibe personal hygiene, visit hospitals and health centers when they feel unwell for prevention and early detection of the virus. The current outbreak in the state, according to the State Ministry of Health, is the first time the state is witnessing widespread cases of yellow fever in more than 20 years. In Enugu, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
Let's go on another break. There is more on yellow fever when we return.
Dialogue, empathy, love and unity. These are vital components of nation building.
For all to be well, we appeal that we should refrain from volatile, provocative, inciting messages and language.
Let's build and not destroy.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous, whether you do it for fun or for political gains. Real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
My name is Nando Jamda Muhammad.
Stevita
Hussein Musa.
Roduna Joel Finji.
Said Musa. John. I'm a carpenter. I've been doing this for more than 8 years now.
And I said that plantain. Nakai Kimami Shekara Uku. I've been selling my tomatoes for about 10 years now, and I do it for a better Nigeria.
And I do it for a better Nigeria.
And you can see how we are doing our small little work to make Nigeria great.
As you can see, I'm a technician and I'm doing it to help myself and to help my generation.
Business.
For a better Nigeria.
This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
We'll be joined in the studio by Dr. Basi Obesen, Director, Disease Control and Immunization, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA. You're welcome, Dr. Obesen.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Nigerians.
Of course, yellow fever, a resurgence of it in our nation today. A lot of people believe it's a disease we should have overcome, but then we have a spike of it at the moment. How do we look at it, constructively, from the background that it is a disease that vaccination is supposed to take care of over a lifetime?
Okay, thank you. I think I will start by saying and appreciating the government, His Excellency the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Minister Dr. Ihanire, and the Executive Director of the agency, Dr. Faisal Shaw, for the support to make vaccines available to Nigerians. I think if not this support that we are having and the collaboration with partners, it would have been worse than what we are seeing. But the government support has really helped. For instance, Nigeria is the only country in Africa that the yellow fever vaccine is bought 100% by government for routine immunization of children at 9 months.
That's totally free.
Totally free of charge. Every child at 9 months walks into any of our PSC facilities, private clinic near them, they are given free of charge to give. Nigeria is the only country that happens. Now, this vaccination started 2009 for children at that age group. The cases we are seeing in Nigeria now are in Delta, where we first had the official report from Ika Northeast, where they reported between June, July, and November about 32 young persons have died of age group 18 to 25 years. And then we had the follow-up report from Enugu, now in 3 local governments. The Igbo is a not local government, Suka local government, and Isi was all local governments, where they reported 47 persons dead from July. And then Bauchi that reported 8 cases. If you look at all these states, the cases are between 18 years and 30 years. The oldest among them is 30 years. These people are people who have passed but at their age now, the routine vaccination did not start before their age. But there have been some reactive mass campaign in the country supported by government. And you find out that of all these cases that were tested and reported, we found out that none of them took the yellow fever vaccination. So if they have taken the vaccination, like you said, once you have the yellow fever vaccination given to you, lifetime.
It's for a lifetime.
Lifetime
so
for most people.
What is the problem? Is it ignorance or what?
Most people, they have seen when vaccinations are given free, they will think it's not important.
No, they don't value it.
They don't value it. Some don't value it. But these vaccines are out there free of charge for Nigerians to receive. In 2013, the government started vaccination for mass population for the adult age who are not part of the routine vaccination. In 2013, we had a group of states vaccinated, 3 states, those specifically Akwa Ibom, Cross River, and Nasarawa in 2013, 2014. In 2018, early, we had in 6 states. The FCT was amongst them, Kogi was amongst them, Sokoto was among them. We had Borno, and so in 2019, we had Katsina. In 2020, early, we had Ekiti State and River State, part of it. And then we had the government also planned to have the mass campaign in 7 states before the COVID. This was to be conducted in July, but because of the COVID, there was a delay. As we're talking now, we were to start the campaign in, like the Delta we are talking about, on the 20th. That was yesterday of November, when we had the reported cases on the 7th from Delta. So what the government did was, with the directive of the chief executive, immediately he heard the following day there was a team from Abuja to support with the state, and 4 days after we started the reactive campaigns in the LGA that was involved, and that was the Ika Northeast. They started their campaign on the 10th, and we are targeting about 444,000 indigenes from that local government and the nearby local government that is Ika South. And the entire state will now start their own vaccination on the 28th that will cover all the remaining LGAs. We also have other states that the government had planned to conduct the campaign. And the plans, as we are talking, we have started, like in Osun, the campaign is on now. In Ondo, the campaign is on. And then we also have Benue State, the campaign is on. Anambra completed theirs last week. And then we also have other states like Borno also will have some reactive campaign. Then the Bauchi that also have a case in that local government, there has been some response to it, and then the Star State will now have their own response in January. So the government is on top of it, and I want to use this opportunity to please plead with Nigerians. Yellow fever vaccination, the vaccine is safe. It is given free. Please go out. Once you hear the announcement, go out, take the vaccine. It is free. 85–90% of people that take the vaccination have lifelong immunity. Okay. There are a few that after 10 years might have to go for booster dose if they need arises.
Okay, Dr. Basi Ogbesen, we know that the target is about 95 million of our citizens to remain safe from yellow fever. We'll talk more. Let's now tell you that strategies put in place by the Delta State government towards curtailing the spread of yellow fever are yielding positive results with no new infections. Taisi Koka report that more persons have been vaccinated after 115 infected persons and 37 deaths were recorded.
Delta State government has commenced the administration of vaccine to Deltans as part of measures to arrest the outbreak of yellow fever in the state, and has also embarked on sensitization campaign in the local governments, Ika Northeast. However, the reason for the increase in death rates was attributed to their belief in some myths.
Right now we have robust support from both the World Health Organization and the NCDC, and also great support from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
And they usually send to us after they've tried everything. In fact, more than 70% of our patients actually come in already bleeding. And when patients are already bleeding, already convulsing, then it's a miracle.
This is a center where patients with severe cases are currently taking treatment at the Federal Medical Center Asaba. Some of them were already very bad, according to the doctor. 37 of them were brought in here, but out of the 37, 16 have been reported dead. Though we're not allowed to go in to capture the faces of the patients, this is how far we can go. Deltans will, however, enjoin to donate blood and save life, and also visit the hospital for early detection of the disease. In Asaba, Tessie Koka, NTA News.
We still have Dr. Basi Okbosen here with us on Weekend File. I think mass awareness is needed at this point, because it's not like the vaccine is not anywhere to be found, but the people who are supposed to have access to it may not know about it. What do we do about that? Because we need to save lots of lives at this period.
Okay, I think we want to advise Nigerians this way. You know, the yellow fever disease is caused by a bite from a mosquito called the Aedes aegypti. That's the one that when it bites somebody that is infected and then bites another person, the person can come down with the yellow fever. So we need to try and ensure that our environments are clean.
Okay.
If our environments are clean, no grasses around our houses, no pools of water to breed mosquitoes.
And the gutters are clean too.
Of course, the gutters are clean. It will help. Our hunters, farmers that goes to the farm in those areas that are high-risk areas, they should remember to wear protective clothing, long sleeve shirts with gloves, trousers with boots, to protect them from the mosquito bite. Because the yellow fever vaccine, the primates in the forest are the ones that have the reservoirs. So when our hunters, farmers go into those forests in the high-risk areas, they can come back with a bite from the mosquito in those places. Then they come to the region, those areas that borders the forest, which is the savanna circle now. And then they can now circulate the infection. So Nigerians, if we learn to wear protective clothing, we learn to use repellents, that the mosquitoes don't stay on them, it will help prevent. Then above all, for adults to go out for vaccination, the vaccines that are available are safe. These vaccines from the states, the announcement that are going on that the vaccines are available and the points are clear where the vaccination can be taken.
In fact, presently, in some states, it's happening right now.
It's happening.
So
like
people
I just
should take advantage of that.
Like we just had a report from Delta State. Okay. Immediately we had a report. The chief executive of the agency, Dr. Fesa, sent the team. The following day they were in Delta State, working with the state. 4 days after they have started the response, the number of cases have drastically reduced.
Thank you very much.
So the vaccines help.
Thank you very much. Dr. Basi Ogbesen, thanks for coming on Weekend File.
Thank you.
We'll be talking with the Director of Disease Control and Immunization, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Basi Ogbesen, on the outbreak of yellow fever in Nigeria and containment measures. Now, let's take our last break on Weekend File. We'll soon be back.
The counsel of our fathers.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Of course, a lot has been happening in the world of sports. Let's take sports update now.